can eat organic green peppers maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. So you're not denying yourself all the other good nutrients that are within the green peppers. And that's what's important, to learn how to do that. Okay? We have a lot of other issues and illnesses that happens within our society here in America, and we have to be aware of who is the one causing us to have these new diseases, have these new illnesses. A lot of times it's going to be the pharmaceutical companies because they want to make more money. It's all about the profit. So when we see that there's a new drug out there to help with your heart condition, everybody wants to try the new drug. Well, that's exactly what the drug companies want you to do. And my question is, what was wrong with your old heart medicine? And the answer is, well, nothing, but they have something new and improved, and I want to try it. Okay, why do you want to place yourself as the guinea pig, is my question. If your heart medication is working good for you, don't jump out there and get into the bandwagon of the new and improved, because you have no idea what is that going to do to you down the road. What's the side effects? And that's what's really important that we have to understand, is these new and improved things have never had long-term studies. They'll tell you, oh, we did a 2-year research. When did you do this? With who did you do it with? Did you do it with humans? How long did you do the testing? Because you have to remember that once they've actually done the research testing, they have to put this into a formula data and then figure out what it really means. So if they say, oh yeah, we've had 2 years worth of testing, well, it might have taken them a year's worth of putting all that paperwork and compiling it together to make it make sense, to be able to push it to the FDA so that the FDA will say, yes, we approve of this drug. So you're telling me that out of a 2-year study, you really only have maybe 1 year of studying? But when you stop and think about it, in that 1 year's time period of studying, you have to find the participants to be in that study. You have to make sure that they meet the right criteria. If you're going to do a study on arthritis, you're not going to get some 12-year-old gymnastic girl, are you? She doesn't have arthritis. You're not going to get some college swim person, are you? Because he's swimming every day. He's not going to have arthritis. You're not going to get a household wife with 3 kids because she's probably taking her multivitamin, every single day. So she's not going to. So who are you going to find to get those, to get your arthritis studies? You're going to have to look somewhere else to find that. And then you have to get a placebo started. A placebo is nothing more than a fake pill. They give you this pill and they say, this is going to work to help your arthritis. But actually it's just, there's nothing in there, just plain old filler. It's just nothing in there. But that's called a placebo. And that's how they do a lot of their testing. Well, this worked better than the placebo. Now let's think about it. There's nothing in the placebo. So anything will work better than a placebo, correct? So that's false. That's a false statement, isn't it? When I say that A is going to work, drug A is going to be working better than drug B, and drug B is a placebo, we have not done the correct study there, have we? Even a junior high kid will know that's not correct. So what has to happen at this point in time is they actually have to have drug A versus drug B and compare them. But guess what? What happens if drug B works better than drug A? Now, they can't outright lie to the people and say, oh, drug A is your new and improved, can they? Well, yes, they can, because they can say, well, they'll give you another story about drug B. That's why most of the time your studies will be with placebos, with empty pills that don't do anything for you, okay? A lot of times when you tell the person, I'm giving you this vitamin, it's going to help you with whatever, the concept is, sometimes some people will say, it really did help me. Well, that's where we had come in with the power of the mind. It's mind, I'm suggesting something to you, and by golly, it worked for you. And that's because your mind, I told your mind that this is going to work. This vitamin B is going to work for energy. And by golly, it did. Because your mind said it was going to. Okay? Now, if I told you that I've got a new vitamin XYZ that's going to work for energy, you're going to go, well, I kind of like my B's, but okay, if XYZ is better than B's, okay, I'll take it. Now, an honest person would have to say, okay, now let's think about this. My mind, I know she said, but when you stop and think about it, how did the body really feel with XYZ? Not good at all. But you don't want to be the only test subject to say, oh no, it didn't work. So when you fill out your forms, oh yeah, XYZ worked great. That's still lying. So the concept is we have to understand that those studies are false studies. The majority of them are not going to be done well because you have to start out with the petri dish, then we're going to move up to the animals, then we're going to move up to the humans. You're not going to do that in 1 year. You're not going to do it in 2 years. I don't even think that I want to study, or I don't want to trust a study that's gone 5 or 10 years, because how can that be that it takes 5 to 10 years to study something? Okay? Even though you say, well, that would be better, wouldn't it? Yes, it would be. But who's doing the studying? Who funded that kind of research? There we go back to the money again.
Yeah.
So when I see a study that was for 5 or 10 years, I have to say, which company has enough money to pay for those scientists / doctors and all their assistants that they have to be paid, and all that lab work and all those mixing of potions and chemicals? So who paid for that study? Who is big enough to pay for all that? And so when we get down to it, that XYZ pill is not going to be helpful at all to you. So when your doctor comes along and says you have this wonderful new disease, we're going to always ask them, what is it? Can I have it? Let me write it down, and I'll do my homework on it. And that's when he'll go, oh, but it's a rare disease. You may not find it. Well, that doctor found it. That's when you ask him, well, let me see your research. Let me see the book you got it out of. You know, if the doctor comes along and says, well, it's rare, you won't find it, well, good. Where did you find it? Who gave it to you? Where did you get that information? We are not above asking our doctors questions. They are humans just like we are. The difference is they take our money and they give us pills back. And a lot of times those pills make us sicker instead of better. And so that's where we have to come up with the process of asking our doctors. You can challenge a doctor and he'll just get flustered. And I've had many of my clients say that their doctors will not talk to them anymore unless they stop this medicine stuff, that vitamin stuff. That should tell you something right there. When you have a doctor saying, look, I don't want you on those supplements. We don't know what they'll do to you. Yes, they know exactly what those supplements will do to them. They'll make them healthier. So you don't have to go back to the doctor. And that's the bottom line, is what would you rather do? Do you want to sit in the doctor's office 3 or 4 times a week, or 3 or 4 times a month for an hour or 2? Or do you want to go out and play with your grandchildren? You want to go out chasing butterflies? There's many more things to do out there in our world other than sit in the doctor's office. And at my age, at least 300 years old now, I have yet to be in a doctor's office for as many times as I've seen women going in and out and in and out, and it's like, what? Don't you have a life? The object is that there's more to life than sitting in a doctor's office. And I challenge everyone to challenge their doctors and say, great, what is this issue? What is this new disease? Help me with it. Restless leg syndrome happened a few years ago, and it was wonderful. Everybody came along and had their different antidotes of how to take care of it, when actually all it was your magnesium was low. That was it. We even had a doctor come along and said if you put a bar of soap at the end of the bed, that would help. And guess what? A couple of my clients tried that, and it works for some reason. It worked for them. Now, will it work for everybody? No. But it's a bar of soap. Go for it. Everybody has a bar of soap. So the next time you think you have restless leg syndrome and you don't want to take magnesium, stick a bar of soap at the bottom of your bed. Who knows? Maybe it'll work. And if it doesn't work, then try your magnesium before you go to bed. That will help it, because we understand that you need magnesium. Everybody needs magnesium every single day, you know. So it's a kind of thing that when he tells you you've got one issue or one disease, challenge your doctor, ask him for the name, write it down, and go do your own homework. Be responsible for your own body. That's the trick. That's the key. Okay? So everyone have a great night. Thank you for participating and being here, and we will talk to you soon.